Hi there, Sagittarius. I hope you guys are having a great January, if you're watching this in January. Otherwise, I hope you're having a great start to February. This is a general reading that's going to cover approximately the first 2 weeks of the month of February. And as I was meditating on your sign before I started to record, I got the sense of sort of a fanning out of your cards, okay? Laying things in order, achieving clarity in some shape or form with whatever it is you're doing. It could even be higher knowledge, right? The fanning out of papers, of research, of study. Okay, but nevertheless, looking at something closely, yes, look at that. The Fool, the beginning of a new journey, a new cycle, and the Mother of Wands. Okay, we will get to that. So, and already within this theme here, we can see the sort of element of youthfulness, the juvenile, fresh start, and maturity, responsibility, culmination, fertility. Okay, so sort of the mother archetype and the child-like archetype. And this can be two aspects of yourself, two aspects of a situation, or even perhaps two people. But let's get further into the reading and we'll take a look at that. But nonetheless, Sag, I feel that you're definitely examining something more closely, something that is giving you a keen interest, right? Looking sort of investigating deeply into something, okay? And I feel like this card does speak to that, right? The investigation, right? The mystery of the night, finding the answers in the clarity and the light of the day, the dichotomy of the two. It did come in reverse, so we'll take a closer look at that. But nonetheless, right, it's the uncovering of a shadow space, right, that perhaps used to confound you, that used to be confusing in some shape or form, perhaps you're now finding clarity with, okay? The day has very much awoken, as we can see the sun at the top of that Seven of Cups card, okay? So I'm feeling clarity with emotions, clarity even perhaps with the path forward, feeling very fertile in even your resources and even the knowledge that you've accumulated. But feeling that you have a domain, really, that you are harboring, okay? And you're accumulating something here as you prepare for sort of this birth, this rebirth into this new cycle, okay? But one that you're very excited about, one that you're very stimulated by, very interested in. And that's expanding your horizons, just as it is with the Fool, right? Fool sets out on his journey. It's the very first major arcana, the first step in the sort of macro scale of transformation of the being, right? And it's very much a fresh new start. So let's begin here. We're going to be doing the Celtic Cross. Same layout as usual, with the deep past right here, followed by the recent past, then the current state, the advice position, near future, hopes and or fears, final outcome, crowned by 3 cards up top, which are energy sort of readings here. It's going to be the energetic expression that you really harness, that you stepped into, that helped lead you to your current state. Then these sort of environmental energies that lie at your feet as you move forward through the month. And then right here, we're going to have the energetic pathway that you're moving into. So without further ado, let us get started here. And I'm, feeling definitely wanting to get started, wanting to sort of roll up your sleeves, get going, right? There's a lot of stimulation that's going on here in a good way. As you can see, a lot of cards here popped out in the beginning. It's a lot of bustling energy, right? You're very much ready. So here we go. Deep past, recent past, current state, near future, advice position, near future, hopes and or fears, final outcome. Let us move these over here, and I'm gonna move this one. I feel like this speaks to a sort of general sort of theme, so I'm gonna keep it right up top there. This is the energy that you tapped into that helped lead you to your current state. This is the environmental energies. This is the energy that you're moving into, so your sort of energetic pathway, all right? So we're gonna flip over the deck, and that's gonna be the sort of thematic card for the spread, and you have the moon in reverse. Oh my God, Sag, woo! Okay. Definitely clarity is coming, okay, definitely. It's the dawn of a new day. There's a new cycle. You're vivacious, you have power, you have excitement, passion, okay? You're ready to embark on this new journey, definitely, okay? It's like the budding birth almost, right? Of this new fool. So the moon in reverse, the moon upright generally speaks to mystery, right? Not knowing, having to sort of make our way in the dark by way of our intuition, right? By way of the subtleties around us that we pick up on, having no real answer, being in the dark. Now, it's in reverse. So, paired with the Fool, my, definitely a new beginning in some shape or form. The sun has come out. The sun has come out. Revel in this energy. And this is your advice position, right? Really, really step into the sun and out of the darkness. Okay? The brooding, the waiting, the awaiting day's break, right? The stagnancy, the question. Step out of that. That's over with, and moving straight into this new cycle and new journey that awaits you. Now let's take a look. And this card that popped out, right? Very similar here, okay? This card is speaking to sort of emotional confusion paired with the sort of dichotomy of the sun up top being emphasized. Leo also got this card, so you might want to go watch that video if you find that a Leo archetype of a person could be related to this. So just a thought to throw out there. But however, similar, needing to focus on the sun, the day, the hope, right? This reminds us that our emotional stability is of our choosing in a way. It's dependent on our perspective. So no matter which way you turn this card, right side up or upside down, in a way, these two worlds, right? These two extremes still exist inherently in nature, right? The cycles are even dependent on each other of night and day. So it's just a matter of our perspective. Are we focusing on the night? Or are we going instead to focus on the day, on the hope? Taking reign and control of our emotional satisfaction and finding the clarity from within ourselves, okay? Taking that new start, stepping into the light. Yes, and definitely I'm finding this new start is paired with your emotions and your emotional stability. Absolutely. Okay, here we go. This is the 9 of Cups in reverse. This is the symbol of the moon, right, on top of all these cups. With these two in reverse, together, paired like this, I'm seeing that there could have been a period of time where you were ruminating deeply on an emotional situation that really took a lot of your emotional sort of capacity. Okay, it really consumed you emotionally, and your emotions were sort of impending and dependent on sort of this answer that you were trying to find, okay, that you were trying to sort of seek out in the darkness. Okay, so that situation has culminated, it seems, okay, and you're at the start of a brand new cycle. Done with this, on with that. Okay, a 9, almost culminating. So definitely it seems an emotional cycle that had kept you in the dark, kept you wondering, guessing, not sure, confused, is now coming to a close. And this is taking its place. The sun. Beautiful, beautiful. And you have it just really bracketing the energy of your reading here with the Fool and the Moon in reverse, this up top, this on the bottom. It's like a very strong configuration of reinforcement of this brand new start and the energy of hope, positivity, and faith and excitement. So let's take a look at the other elements at play here to get a general sense of what we're working with. Now it's interesting, you do have a number of swords, okay? You have, but mostly in your past, okay? And somewhat in your current state, but also in your environment position, however, in reverse, which is good, because I'm feeling that whatever this sword situation was, whatever this sort of mentally agonizing, confusing situation, something you were thinking about just tremendously that was leaving you maybe perhaps feeling a bit hopeless, that perhaps even had to do with a certain person who is perhaps somewhat of a sly character, sort of the type that keeps their cards to themselves, doesn't speak the full truth type of archetype of person. I'm sensing that is coming from your deep past, your recent past, but definitely is getting washed out. Okay, getting washed out, especially because you have this 9 of Swords in reverse from your deep past. That energy is sort of reversing and falling right through and out. Okay, so it seems that in your deep past there was sort of this culmination, this over emphasis on this sort of rationalization of something. Okay, being really caught up in our mind about something, staying up at night, wondering about it, worrying about it, not being sure, being in the dark, right? Feeling confused. Okay, being really at odds. But it's now in reverse and it's in the deep past. So It's the undoing of that energy and that situation in your recent past, moving into the this is the Six of Swords. So again, a decrease, definitely so. I'm seeing this as the sort of recovery from whatever situation this was, okay? You can now see on here, right? There's a ray of hope, a rainbow at the top of this pile of swords. Sort of like the aftermath, right? Of this situation, all these swords, now a 6, lying in a pile on the ground, not being used, and there is this ray of hope that you have just really looked up to and embodied, okay? And you've undone yourself from a very sticky, mentally painful situation, okay? That's the feeling I'm getting. Okay, the energy that you stepped into that helped lead you to your current state of the 7 of Swords is the 5 of Cups in reverse. So I am sensing that, again, this emotional situation of which this confusion, this mental agony is relating to is definitely one that regards your emotions. Okay, definitely. And it was one that sort of left you perhaps sad. Okay, that was leaving you sort of unfulfilled emotionally, confused emotionally. Now, it's in reverse. So it's the letting go of that emotional dissatisfaction, that rumination on emotional, lack of emotional fulfillment, releasing of this old emotionally unfulfilling situation. Letting go of that passive state and now stepping into the preparation for a rebirth, for stepping into the sun, for transformation. You're going straight to the 0, the Fool. Straight to the Fool, 0. Mother of Wands speaks of birth, right? The anticipation of birth. It's a very transformative energy. Birth is transformative, right? And in a way, if we look at this card right here, the 8 of Swords, sorry if I said 7, it's the 8. We see this butterfly, right? Sort of the chrysalis effect, awaiting the time, the right time for it to naturally enter into this new form of existence, this birth. Okay, but you've been waiting, and I'm sensing that it definitely was a situation where you had hope, right? But you knew that naturally this course had to be run in a natural succession, right? You cannot force the birth, right? So you maintained hope. You stepped out of this sort of melancholy, ruminating sort of tendency, we'll say that. And you now stepped into, even if this is my predicament, even if this has been the predicament, I am still a butterfly awaiting my flight, awaiting my transformative moment where I can step into the brand new world, into the sun. And absolutely, that is the sort of perspective that you are being heated to take on as you move forward through the month here. Now let's see, in your near future, you have the Son of Wands in reverse. So, lots of Wands cards, lots of fire, right? We're seeing associated with this Fool, with this new start, is the Mother of Wands. That is the grand expression of budding, fertile, creative, passionate energy. Okay, so we're seeing that here, we're seeing that here with the Sun, and we're seeing that here with the Son of Wands. We're even seeing that in the Emperor. We're even seeing that here up top in the Seven of Wands. And I will say right below these two cards, this reversal is the Father of Wands. Now, you have a pair. You have the Mother of Wands and you have the Father of Wands. They are the dynamic duo. We'll put it that way. We'll put it that way. Okay? That could be an element of yourself, an aspect of yourself, right, that you are bringing into fruition as you embark on this new journey, right? It could be the rebirth of your being, an aspect of your being, even, so to speak. Okay, or it could be another person, but we'll get more into that. I'm feeling we need to get into the spread before we do so. Now, Son of Wands, near future. If you look at these two cards together, there's sort of this sprouting beam of light in both of them, right? Harnessing the energy of fire, harnessing the energy of the sun, hope, and light. The Son of Wands, the Mother of Wands, and the Father of Wands. This is, in a way, their child, okay? You have the parents at the top of the spread, and you have the Sun at the bottom, in a way speaking to the natural progression of the embodiment of this energy. Okay? Now, you are slowly waking up from this past, stepping into the light of this new day, and slowly but surely taking on this new perspective, right, of the journey, perspective of yourself even, okay? But it's gradual, the gradual awakening, like that. So then in your hopes and or your fears, you have the Emperor, okay? And the Emperor speaks to, I see it as the fusion of elements of earth and fire, right? The Emperor is a tree, right? Depicted by the image of a tree. It's grounded, it's stable. The Emperor has a domain. However, the Emperor is still somewhat youthful, okay? He's not quite the king, right? He's the Emperor. So there is a sort of immaturity even, and naivete to his character. We see the blazing sun here, right? However, it's not bright as we see it in this card, or even in this card, or even in this card here, or even here, right? You don't see the yellows. You see the darker red, right? So it's, again, speaking to the grounded sort of expression of fire, of passion. However, still uniting those two things. I believe this is the energy you are hoping to harness. Okay, absolutely. Especially as you have this Ace of Pentacles at the very tail end here. Okay, 1 second, guys. Let me just let out the dog. Hold on. Outside, baby. So, you have fusion between fire and earth. On either side of this Emperor, who inherently, in and of himself, of itself, this card embodies the fusion of these two principles of energy, thought. Okay, so I believe, and these are both in reverse, I believe that this is speaking to the infancy, right, of this new stage. The infancy, the Fool, 0. The infancy, the Son of Wands, embarking on this new journey, right? In reverse, the Ace of Pentacles, the very first sort of seed that is planted, the nucleus of whatever it is you're hoping to manifest into the long term. These are together. This is like the Son of Wands is really harnessing this fire energy to plant this new seed. Okay, the beginning of a journey that's going to bring ultimate stability of the Emperor. So this card embodies these two cards. The desire for a fresh new start in terms of achieving groundedness and harnessing that inherent fire energy in order to achieve it. Okay, and it's happening gradually. These both are in reverse, so perhaps it's the slower onslaught of expression, right, of this sort of culminating energy, but nonetheless you're moving into it. Okay, so, and I will just point this out, there's a lot of energy that's signifying fresh new start, clarity, definitely. With the Fool, 0. Ace, the very first Pentacle card. Okay, so something is on the horizon. You're letting go of a lot of heavy past emotional and mentally occupying energy. Letting go of it, letting go of the darkness and the questions and the and that sense of even unhealthy wonder. We'll put it like that. You're setting all that aside and you are taking the plunge with this new beginning in a very fiery, excited way. And there's such a strong configuration of these wand archetypes, the mother, the father, the son, that it makes me think that these can even be a sort of system or group of people in place that are helping you, in a way forming the structure and the boundary with which you can push this new beginning forward. There is a very supportive energy, that's what I'm feeling, okay? That's really inspiring you, and really that is conducive to this new beginning, that is supporting it perhaps even financially, or in many other ways, okay? And you could in a way be the sort of child, it could be parents even, but you could be sort of the offspring in any way of that word of these two entities or beings or this grander structure that's allowing and inducing your creativity to shine through. So somehow I'm feeling there's a connection, there's something that's tied in. And again, it can be just the two sides of yourself, bringing them together, really harnessing that fire energy, but I'm feeling it could be different things for different people. So let's move right up into the environment position. And you have the Seven of Swords in reverse. Lovely. And I have it right overlaid here on top of the reversed Six of Cups. Okay. No. Seven of Cups, Seven of Swords. So, yes, definitely there was a situation in the deep past that had you emotionally tied up, emotionally preoccupied, confused, and in wonder. One that accumulated over time, that left you emotionally dissatisfied. And it could be due to the lack of properly facilitated communication with someone who was not being straightforward, not being honest. Okay? And so that energy is now falling out. Okay? This is no longer, right, of the caliber and the prominence that it once held. Okay, as you can see, it's referring to, even these swords are all pointing in the direction of this reverse Five of Cups. There is this sort of this association, right, of these two energies, this situation falling out. Okay, and you have a 7 and a 7, a confusing situation with muddled communication, muddled behavior. Okay, even silence. This fox is not speaking. It has the tail right over its mouth, peering one eye out. There's a very sly feeling, okay, about that card there, about that character, right, in this particular situation. So the fox is almost just watching over, right? And so causing sort of this emotionally confusing situation that you're now doing away with, that you're now choosing the sun over. Okay, that you're realizing you're waking up to your empowerment. You're waking up. You're saying, I don't need to be in this space any longer of wondering, of waiting, of letting these cups, all my emotions be dependent on this answer, the spoken word of this character, right? That just will not operate in a clear fashion, so to speak, okay? Now, moving over into the environmental energies, this sort of energetic pathway that you're moving into, you have the 7 of Wands. Beautiful. Why? In the environment position, you have 2 7s as energy moving out from your environment. And in a way, it's sort of like replaced by this is the 7 of Wands, the fire element that you're now embodying, right? Doing away with the swords, the mental, intellectual rumination, the water, the emotionally dissatisfying situation, and into the fire, into the manifestation and the creation, into the sun, into the clarity, taking your power of creating your world and your reality into your own hands, and with the Father of Wands as well. So with the 7 of Wands right here, right, it's like a replacement of energy. So from these 2 7s, you're now replacing the 7 of Wands. And when we look at this card here, right, it's sort of like the match is being lit, right? The light's going on. If you look at this card here, there's so much light here. Light abound. Also in this card. Also in this card. And at the top of this card. Okay? The light is going on and the engine is starting. You're moving forward slowly but surely in this direction, taking on this new sort of persona, this new taking the first leg of this journey, the first step, and embarking on this gradual but ultimately fulfilling in the long term, right, as you see it, journey ahead. Okay, so thank you so much, Sagittarius, for tuning in. I hope this reading was helpful for you guys. So many strong messages, so thank you, and I hope to see you guys hopefully in a few weeks, maybe about a week or so. I will be posting the mid-February reading, so stay tuned and feel free to leave your comments below. I'm always curious to know how the readings resonate, and until then, I will see you guys later. All right, bye, Sag.